What is going on YouTube? My name is Bancroft. Thank you for tuning in. And today, well, we're going over the first place deck from our store showdown, and that was the Chirrut red deck or Chirrut Tarkintown. Like always, there's buttons down below. Feel free to click them there for a reason. But hey, let's get into it. So we're starting with Chirrut, and Chirrut's one of those leaders has an interesting deploy side. But before we get there, on the undeployed side, it's just an action. Give a unit +0, +2 for this phase. I've actually seen this player use this as a way, instead of saying passing, he just gave the buff to one of his opponent's units before. That way he couldn't say pass and then they took initiative and that was the turn. It was an interesting way of using it. And other than that, you just use it as a way of kind of giving extra defense to another unit. On the deployed side, Chirrut cannot die unless a card says to defeat it. The way it works is that during the action phase, this unit isn't defeated by having no remaining HP. Now, granted, if you go to the regroup phase and there is no HP remaining, then Chirrut will then be defeated. But if you have a way of healing Chirrut afterwards, keep on going, man. Then we have Tarkintown. As an epic action, you deal 3 damage to a damaged non-leader unit. There we go. It's a fun one. I've seen him use it in ways of like, if his opponent uses an ECL to get rid of something, they immediately just do Tarkintown to get rid of that target right afterwards because they damaged themselves. So it was pretty fun seeing that stuff. Going into the deck, once again, we're going to go in the order of least expensive to the most expensive. Not necessarily the order you play stuff, but just kind of go over the cards one by one. And the first thing we got to go over is Force Throw. And normally, I've just in the past have used Force Throw as a way of going, hey, discard a card. And if you have a Force unit on board, which is nice, then you may deal damage to the unit equal to the cost of that discarded card. I was like, that's just the way I look at it. I'm like, oh, cool. They're just, hey, discard a card. I'm used to playing other card games, do effects. It doesn't specify, like, choose an enemy player or whatever. Just, you can choose yourself. And then you can discard, I don't know, a Luke Skywalker and deal 7 damage to a unit on your opponent's side of the base. Your units, one of your opponent's units. And that was really cool. And I don't know why I never thought about that. That was just fun, kind of like seeing that, like, oh, that's a fun tech. I like that a lot. Going into more of the healing aspect of this deck, we have the Restore Arc. It's a 2 resources for a 2/3, has Restore 1, so on swings you're getting health back. We also have for 2 resources, it binds all things. Heal up to 3 damage from a unit. If you control a force unit, you may deal that much damage to another unit. So it's kind of like just redirecting damage to somewhere else. And sometimes you can do that, just get rid of your opponent's cards. We have the Green Squadron A-Wing, which is 1/3, but when it attacks, it has Raid 2, so it makes it a 3/3 on its own attacks, but when it gets attacked, it's still just a 1/3. But for 2 resources, I don't know why I'm saying it a lot now, it's a great turn 1 play. We also got Sabine over here, which is another 2/3 unit, but when there are at least 3 aspects among other friendly units, this unit can't be attacked. It's okay, that's fun, but I don't know if that's the idea in this deck. I don't think you can get that one off. But what you can get off though in this deck is the on attack. You may deal 1 damage to the defending unit, making it technically a 3/3 on attacks, which is pretty cool. Then we have C3PO on play and on attack. It's a 1/4, but you get to choose a number. Then you look at the top of your card of your deck. If its cost is the chosen number, you may reveal that card and then draw it to your hand. Goes really hand in hand with R2-D2, which I do not think he plays this in his deck. He doesn't. But as we've already covered, a lot of his cards cost 2, a lot of his cards cost 3, a lot of his cards cost 4. So like, he just has to call either 2, 3, or 4, and most likely he's going to see it. Then we got Yoda over here for 3 resources. It's a 2/4, restore 2, and when defeated, choose any number of players, and they may draw a card, which is pretty cool. But the main fact that it's a 2/4, so it's going to survive most attacks early on, unless you do something crazy to get rid of it. And then on attacks, it heals your base by 2 points. The Jedi Lightsaber, attached to a non-vehicle unit. If attached unit is a force unit, it gains on attack. Give the defender -2/-2 for this phase. And keep in mind, Chirrut is a force user, so it's one of those things he could deploy Chirrut and then immediately give this to Chirrut, which gives Chirrut a +3/+3 to Chirrut's overall stats as well. For 3 resources, we got Open Fire. Just deal 4 damage to a unit. It's pretty good. Can't beat it. Moving over to more of the Rebel package. And keep in mind, every card I think I've gone over so far has been Rebel, for the exception of Yoda. So Restore Arc, Green Squadron, Sabine, C3PO, yeah. So we have Fleet Lieutenant. And Fleet Lieutenant, when play, you may attack with a unit. If it's a Rebellion unit, it gets +2/+0 for the attack, which is pretty nice. Wing Leader over here being another 3 cost, but when it plays, you give experience tokens to another friendly Rebel unit. And as a reminder, Chirrut also is a Rebel unit. Then we have Caden over here, which is a 4/5 for 4 resources, which actually is pretty good. And then on attack, you may discard 1 card from the defending player's deck. For each friendly Spectre unit, you heal 1 damage from your base for each different aspect among the discarded card. On average, you can get 2 of those. I think he does play 2 Spectres in the deck overall, if I recall correctly. Yeah. And so it's quite possible he could get this effect off twice if he had the right board state. The Force is with me. For 4 resources, you choose a friendly unit, give it 2 experience tokens to it. If you control a Force unit, you also give a shield token to the chosen unit. Then you may attack with the chosen unit. This is just really good because, like, for example, like I said, in this deck, Chirrut is a Force user. So as soon as you deploy Chirrut, you can immediately pay 4 afterwards, giving Chirrut a +2/+2 and a shield. So like, there's a nasty card on the board, you can just straight tack into that card, get rid of it. Doesn't hurt Chirrut at all. Yeah. Then we have Vigilance. In this deck, it will cost 6 to play, but you choose 2 in any order, discard 6 cards top of your opponent's deck, heal 5 damage from your base, defeat a unit with 3 or less health, or give a shield token to a unit. My favorites are obviously the first 2, but I've seen a lot of people tend to go more towards the second and third option. Takedown for 4 resources, you're defeating a unit with 5 or less remaining HP. And then we have K2. It's a 4/4 that costs 4, but what makes K2 so good is that it has Overwhelm. But not just that, but when it's defeated, for each opponent, choose 1. Either deal 3 damage to that player's base, or have that player discard cards from their hand. This, in combination with Force Throw, can be very devastating to your opponent's hand. And I've seen this combination work before and just kind of get rid of all the resources. Like, for example, if you get your opponent down to 0 cards and they pass and they draw 2 cards, like, okay, they need a resource card, then you just Force Throw, get rid of the other card in their hand. That pretty much stops their turn. Or like, you do something to K2 to get rid of K2 in the process. Boom, get rid of the card from your hand. And once you do that to your opponent, from that point on, it's just your game, because your opponent has to sit back and wait till you finish the phase out because they have nothing to play. Then we have Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's a 6 cost. It's a 4/6 on play. It's a Sentinel. But what makes Obi-Wan so good is that when defeated, you give 2 experience tokens to another friendly Force unit, then you draw 1 card. Which, I mean, can't beat that. Luke Skywalker, it's a 6/7. On play, you give an enemy -3/-3 for the phase. If a friendly unit was defeated this phase, give that enemy unit a 6/6 for this phase instead. So Luke's one of those things where if you have a board, kind of wait for your opponent to take care of something. That way, then you can turn around, pay 7 for Luke, and then go, hey, it's a -6/-6 now. Get rid of whatever problematic card you want to get rid of. Then we have Redemption. It's for 8 resources. It's a 6/9. It also has Sentinel, but when played, you heal up to 8 total damage from any number of units or bases, and then you deal that much damage back to Redemption. So I've seen a lot of people literally just go 8, heal 8, and now you have a 6/1 on your space, and your opponent has to attack into it before they go into anything else. Since we're playing best of 3, we do have the sideboard going on here. So we do play 1 Spark of Rebellion. This is tricky because he doesn't have either blue or... So he doesn't have yellow at all. He's a blue and red. So in order to play this, he is going to have to pay 4 resources for this card. But for 4 resources, you get to look at your opponent's hand and discard a card from it. That's not a bad option. And sometimes that's worth paying that in case if you're able to get rid of a problematic card. We got 2 of the Disabling Fang Fighters. This is really just getting rid of shield tokens, experience tokens, any upgrades that can be problematic. But yeah, for 3 resources, you're playing a 3/2 that defeats an upgrade. Make an Opening. Gives a unit -2/-2 for the phase. You get to heal 2 damage from your base. I assume this is something you get side in for the quick aggro decks, and you just need to kind of slow it down, possibly. You just neg something out real quick, then you turn around and heal 2 from that. And one additional oh my gosh, I almost said queso. One additional K2 just to kind of round it out the numbers in case you need a CK2 for this match. 2 Vanquish on the side. Defeat defeat a non-leader unit. And then we have Force Surrender, which I've actually seen him play this. I think it was on one of the camera matches. But for 6 resources, you get to draw 2 cards. Then each opponent whose base you've dealt damage to his face discards 2 cards from their hand. And keep in mind, this in combination with K2, with Force Throw, was one of those things that just makes your opponent go, hey, you got no hand. That's it. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed, and congrats to the Chirrut player once again. Like, he did a phenomenal job. And yeah, we look forward to seeing more matches from him, hopefully next week, and another showdown I got videos for. But yeah, that's it. I'm rambling. Bye.